Hey there, welcome back to my beginner's guide. I'm going to be showing you how to play through Gunfire Reborn. This should be the third video in the series where we look at Act 3 with the run that we've continued from the first one. If you remember from last time, we've got ourselves a nice elemental run here where we've got a bunch of bonus damage on elemental rage and three ways to inflict elemental damage between the prince's corrosion grenades, this fire sniper rifle, and our lightning submachine gun. We were able to clear the boss pretty easy despite some hiccups with lag, but that aside, we're going into the third act here, which is themed around like oceans, and so we're going to fight a lot of fish-based enemies. So again, we're going to have to explain some of the enemies we're running into and some of the new stuff we have to deal with. Catfish Warriors are a basic melee enemy. They're kind of like the lightning swordsmen from the desert. Our Catfish Men is like a combination of the crossbowmen and the shielded crossbowmen from the first act. They can do a volley of arrows, or they can do one supercharged arrow, and when it hits you, it pins you to the wall. So that could be pretty rough. If you get pinned to the wall and then other enemies hit you, it could wipe you out pretty easy. So we're going to take care of this guy first. Alright, he burned it up. That's some electricity. That was that single shot. Alright, there's some shock on him. Alright, and now whenever an enemy gets confused, if they're by themselves, they'll just stand there and let you kill them. Pretty solid way of taking care of enemies. So we got some more over here. Let's see if we got something else. The Grunt is your basic shooter. They're kind of like the crossbowmen from the first act. So nothing really big and new there. They also have a similar spread on their attacks, so... Oh, apparently... Oh, he was aggroed on me. He just couldn't see my face. Alright, the gunners are just like the gunners from the second act. They shoot a lot of shots at you really fast and they're pretty strong. Alright, we're gonna kill you guys with a little bit of energy blade. I think I also get... I think there's an octopus in this room. Could you please? Oh man. There we go. Spread that damage all around. When you see the like 99999 next to the blood, that is the final judgment going off. So just keep that in mind. I think some guys will spawn up here whenever I walk in further. There we go. Block you guys. Use my piercing shot to take out multiple of them together. Just move slowly. Alright, we do have some new enemies here. See if I can get close enough without aggroing them so I can explain. So we have the Octopus. He basically has a Gatling gun. He will constantly shoot at you. As he shoots, the shots get more accurate until they become basically a big beam of ammo that flies at you. He's got a tiny little head on him, which makes it hard to crit him, especially if he's facing away, but his head is still the crit point. Kappas, these little green guys here are like sorcerers whenever he comes back out. What they do is they run around on the ground doing nothing, but then they'll pop into the air and start casting magic spells, which are basically just elemental orbs that fly at you and cause elemental effects. So what we're going to do is pop up, hit this Catfish Man, pop him, and just start taking care of enemies from back here. I don't have a lot of defensive abilities on this front. What the heck? I've never seen a gunner up in the tree. That explains why I got hit by that. Alright, we're gonna move up. I'm gonna see if I can get this Kappa to do his attack. There he goes. Alright, and then we took care of him. Whenever you hear that "aww" kind of sound, Could you, like, not shoot through walls? There we go. Let's go ahead and take care of him. Or not. I want to explain things, but I'm also going to get myself killed, and then when I'm dead I can't explain them. Oh, lanterns! Lanterns are like the bombers from the first act. The only problem is that there's enemies that spawn them in later on in this act, so you have to be particularly careful, because if you're not paying attention, there could be a guy constantly spawning enemies in. Alright, let's freeze him. Get our crit to kill him. Let's get that shield off of this guy. And finish him off. Alright, with that explained, I think that's all the enemies we'll see in this act, so I don't have to sit there and point them out. But the octopus can be pretty awful. If you leave them alone, they will get more accurate with their shots. And if there's 2 or 3 of them in a room, you can find yourself getting easily just burnt down from them. Piercing shot, save the day. Nice. All of these rooms follow the same plan from earlier levels, where all you'll want to do is slowly move in so you don't trigger all the enemies at once. Taking your time is a necessity, because the more enemies in the room, just the more hectic it gets. We'll use our energy blade as much as we can. There we go. There's no way this is going to be as good, but we'll look at it anyway. Yep. Extra magazine, drops ammos, auto reload, damage versus burning. Could be pretty good, but it's not going to be as good as our +7 weapon here. Make sure you look around each room. Obviously you want to get as many vaults as you can, and sometimes they're in hard to see places. There's also red chests that can appear all over the place, so take your time. I don't think there's challenges anymore that affect you over time. There used to be one that you took constant damage throughout the room, but I think they got rid of that because it was a nuisance. So let's see. What I'm going to do is hit this guy down here, and then use my energy blade to hit the one above him. That way everyone gets the burning and takes extra damage from it. This room, usually what happens is you jump down, a bunch of lanterns spawn in the back here, and a couple Kappas over here. And then as you move further in, an octopus spawns over here and a bunch more gunners and lanterns and stuff. So let's drop down. There's some lanterns. There we go. There's the other Kappa. Oh, miss. Dodge that corrosion ball. Alright, and now the next wave of lanterns and stuff. Alright, see how there's 2 octopus up there? That is a good way to die if you're out in the open. So, you can hear the sound of the gun shooting. You're just going to want to wait for them to stop, and then come back out and get another shot in. Alright, I'm going to throw another grenade out, and I'm going to switch to this weapon so I can get some shock out on the field. There we go, now you're shocked and corroded and dead. Ooh. Alright, let's stay back for a little bit and get our shield back. I'm under shock right now, so something hit me and applied shock, which made me take even more damage from subsequent hits. Wow, that guy is doing a boatload of damage to me. This is the point where I expect this run to fail, just because we're really early on in the game. I've only spent spiritual tokens or spirit essence on getting vaults unlocked, so I don't have any of the defensive abilities, any of the max health or shield upgrades. We also don't have any of the damage upgrades for weapons. Like, generally speaking, we're not really kitted out to win the game. This one's pretty cool. The create bullet to chase nearest enemy on crit hit. That one can get out of hand pretty quick, just because this gun shoots like 7 shots. So if you put it right up on an enemy's head and pull the trigger, it can spread to a bunch of the other ones around it. However, it doesn't do an elemental effect, and that's what we're looking for right now. +8. I don't think we'll get enough money out of this chest in order to get another... Oh, we did. Okay. Well, we'll get another pump out of that. I guess we'll take another charge. It honestly might have been a better idea to take the Hex Smoke at this point, just to mitigate some of the damage. But I also think that having more charges to freeze things is going to do the same thing. And again, stacking tall is usually better than stacking wide. Man, the bots are still here? Yeah, I know. I don't know what's up with that. So let's see. Also, how are you doing, character? Yaksha of the Sea. So these guys basically are big melee tanky units. When they get close to you, they do a big sweep. But generally what they do is a shockwave attack. They'll swing the sword down and they'll send an energy blast at you. They're not too bad. They're pretty slow. But in large numbers, they can be pretty overwhelming. So let's see. How are we going to approach this? I think I just need to toss a grenade. Switch to my Star Devourer. There we go. We've applied that elemental effect. Alright, we're going to freeze these guys. Instant kill you. Alright, there's a guy behind him. You gotta watch out for those shots moving through guys. And not too bad. So again, just to reiterate, we don't want to move through levels all that quickly. We want to spawn enemies at a rate that we're comfortable with. So as soon as I spawn these guys, I'm going to move back a little bit, watch the mini-map, or listen for the sound of them spawning in. There they go. And we're going to back up. Because if we can kill things in one shot, it'll stop them from aggroing. But the best way we're going to do that is with Energy Blade. Alright, let's apply Shock. And then we get our burn on. We're going to do it again. Nice. Okay, so I got both of them in that shot. And now that the little yellow swirl has appeared, we know that we've cleared the room and that no other enemies are going to spawn until we move beyond that. Doing all right, back from work, just hanging out with my puppy, playing Super Auto Pets. Hey, that game's pretty fun. I'm just going to take a look around here. Sometimes you can get vaults in really awkward places on this map, and I just want to make sure I don't miss one. There is a chest up here we're going to grab. Sometimes the vault could be over here. There we go. Health for money. You know, we're going to do it. That might lead to me dying, but having enough money to get one more level on our Piercing Flame would be really nice. Having a +10 weapon, keep in mind, that means it's at 150% of its base damage. White Sharks! Alright, new enemy here. White Shark is a big beefy guy. He's got an anchor in his hand, and he'll throw it and pull you in and give you a big ol' uppercut to your face. Usually, unless you're playing a beefy character, it's enough to knock you down in one hit. So we're going to take him very seriously, shoot him, and Energy Blade him. Nice. Alright, now I heard the sound of more enemies spawning. So we're going to be careful here with how far we move forward. Hey, it's Luis. What's going on? Alright, there's another white shark. So again, we're going to take him seriously. Hit him with that. And then get our shot. Oh, it looks like we spread damage onto some other enemies, but we're so far away, they didn't even register. There we go. Alright, use Energy Blade again. Finish those guys off. Take care of the grunts. Alright, did you hear that sound? It kind of sounds like a crashing wave. That's the corrupt monk over here, spawning in more of those exploding lanterns. So we're going to do this. Take him out as quickly as we can. The corrupted monks can get way out of hand. Having one of them isn't that bad, but usually, especially in the later levels, they'll have like 2 or 3 of them sitting in the back of a room, constantly spawning in those exploding spiritual lanterns. So be extremely mindful of that. If you find yourself constantly running away from them, it might be time to just dive in on them if you don't have like a good sniper rifle or ranged. Just got home from work and also chilling with my dog, but I'm in front of a fireplace too. Oh, that is awesome. Alright, so we've got a bunch of grunts here. We're going to use our energy blade to do massive damage with sniper shots. Remember, it is giving our next weapon shot 300% damage. So it's really pumping it up there. See that? That was 6,000 on that shot. However, I do... Oh. Oops. Let's get some of our charges back. Alright, there is our vault. It's an elite fight, which is good. You want to get as many elite fights as possible just because they have the best rewards. In addition to that, it also is the way to unlock new things. Usually getting like 3 kills on a particular elite is a way to unlock a scroll or a weapon. So you're going to want to run into those as often as possible. Oh, puppies. Alright, we got all 3 of our charges back. That is a ridiculous amount of lucky shot chance on that thing. Holy cow. With a double elemental effect chance. Now, I'm not going to take it because it's only a +6 to my +10. But this is one of those things that would make you double, like, question your pumping motive. Because a flat 110 lucky shot chance on one gun, then on top of that, I've got this 50% chance. That would be a reason to get rid of reasonable luck. Because you're going to be over that 150 just on that gun. So that one's pretty tempting, but we're already so far pumped up on this gun and we don't have enough money to start over, so we're not going to bother. I think this is the last room of this area, so before I do this elite fight, I'm going to get the goblet at the end of this room. So let's move forward slowly, because I think some more enemies will spawn just as I get here. Yep, there's our monks. Get rid of that monk. Get rid of that monk. Easy peasy. Let's put some shock on him. Alright, we got a shark coming in, so I'm glad I recharged this. There we go. Ooh, look at that. Just getting hit by one arrow puts me down a lot. So now, oh, what are you? Lucky shot, crit, and a strike wing. Strike wing is a fun sniper type weapon. It's a bow. After hitting an enemy, 3 additional arrows will be launched at other enemies behind it. So you shoot this arrow, and when it hits an enemy, it like automatically targets the next enemies behind it. Pretty fun. I really like these, especially with a couple of special inscriptions that they can get. But I already have a sniper rifle with special ammo, and this one doesn't do any elemental effects, so it's not one that we care about. Let's open a couple things here. The only reason we're getting as far as we can on this run right now is just knowing where things are going to spawn and abusing that as much as we can. I honestly don't expect to finish the game with this run just because of how low our health, shields, and damage is overall. But we're still going to try to make the best of it and try to explain as many things as we can. So this is going to be the Yaksha of the Sea elite fight. He's going to spawn at the top over there. We just have to make our way over to him. Nice. I should still have Energy Blade active, even though it wasn't on the enemy I hit with the blade. Or with the spear. But the piercing shots on this really help out with that because you get multiple enemies with those high-powered shots. Alright, we're going to dodge back. We got shock on both of them. I did apply burning to him. Oh, but I didn't do it fast enough to get the shock and burn on. Oh well. So this is going to be a little tricky. What I'm going to try to do is throw a grenade up here, have it land just as he's spawning in, then also hit him with burning and shock at the same time. Oh, it was the correct monk instead. We also have some new enemies in there. It's okay though, we killed that. Oh, stop that, lanterns. So the elite monk, normally he likes to teleport around and shoot things, and he'll sometimes do a really big AoE that you have to step out of. I kind of killed him pretty fast there. Gourmet and elemental power. We'll explain all three of those in a second here. But I don't think I've ever seen him on this room before. It's pretty small, but he'll teleport around and you just have to shoot him and avoid his elemental attacks. So let's look at what we just got. Perfect 6. Every 6th shot gains 50% damage. That's not really going to help because this is only a 5 ammo capacity sniper rifle, and getting 50% damage on this thing doesn't really help a whole lot. Then elemental power is going to help a lot. When triggering elemental effect will be passed to a nearby random enemy. We're already doing that, but the plus 25% elemental damage is nice. And then Gourmet. Buns now recover full HP. No problem with that. Brief Respite, immunity after swapping weapons can be pretty useful. That might actually save our lives. Arm Stealer, minus 20% damage taken and plus 30% damage dealt for 10 seconds whenever you consume 100 ammo. It's pretty good for weapons like this, but I'm mostly using the sniper rifle, so probably not. And Flowing Time, all remaining cooldowns, minus 1 second on hit, triggered once every 2 seconds. We're going to take that just because that's going to keep our spiritual orbs up and keep us able to freeze enemies. We might also save the day. Yeah, you've never seen the monk there either? Yeah. Ah, draws in nearby enemies and they all take boosted damage and share that damage too. Okay. Alright, and on to the next area. I believe it's the one before the boss, but let's see again. Yes. So this is a unique map, whereas the other ones you kind of move through the same map in different spots. The last area of the water level is always this kind of boat and beach area where you move between the dock and the shore. It's completely separate from all the other areas earlier in the map, so you won't see any of the same rooms. These umbrellas, you'll see they have a little eyeball on them. That's their crit spot. If you try to shoot them anywhere else, it's not a crit, and that eyeball is very peculiar. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I swear I shoot it head on and I don't get the crit. Crabs are also on this level. Oh my god. That was a bigger hit than I thought. Let's get our shield back before I move forward. Crabs have a very short range attack. They'll shoot at you when they get pretty close. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but usually a bunch of crabs are together. I don't know if it's possible to hit a crab and not be a crit. I feel like their whole body is crit. Another enemy that we're going to bump into for sure here is the Nihilist Monk. They look similar to the Corrupt Monk, except they have a black robe on, and what they do is teleport around. They shoot this little purple blob at you. That does a pretty decent amount of damage, but the thing that they do most that's scary is they teleport on top of you and start doing a really rapid attack. So if I see them, I'm going to try to shoot them from as far away as possible. And then if I see them teleport, we're just going to have to do the best we can to avoid getting chunked down by it. Oh, dodged that pretty well. Okay. Alright, in this area, I think we're also going to run into a new enemy called the Arrogant Lobster. They're basically artillery. They're going to hang out in the back and shoot fireballs down on us. Now, what I'm going to do might seem a little silly, but I'm going to drop my final judgment because there's an unlock for killing Arrogant Lobsters with fire weapons, but it doesn't count if this is what triggers the death. So I'm going to drop that right now. There's the Nihilism Monk. Alright, we killed him before he did his attack, so I'm sorry I didn't get to show you that, but honestly, it is very likely to cause me to die. Alright, you're dead. So we're just going to move forward slowly. Looks like we got another Star Devourer up here. I'm going to hang out over in this corner, because I think the enemies are going to spawn just on the other side of this wall. There we go. Oh, hey lantern, buy a lantern. Alright, I think, is that everything in that batch? Nope. There's my lobster buddy. There we go, got the fire damage kill on him, so that should be 1. The problem is the unlock you get for killing them requires you to kill like 40 of those assholes using only fire weapons and making sure not to get any of the other procs that could cause kills. Alright, here he goes. He teleported. Could you burn? No. Alright, we're going to throw another one of those out. Another one of those out. Okay, I think a lobster can still spawn up there. So I'm not going to, you know, I'm going to go back and pick it up just so that I don't forget about it because I'm very likely to forget about it. That Star Devourer might be pretty good too. Come here. And we'll see what's in this chest as well. Let's see. 30% for elites and bosses. Lucky shot chance for consumed ammo. Now, I don't reload with this weapon, so that lucky shot chance should just exponentially, or not exponentially, but linearly grow. And there's a chance to recover ammo whenever you kill. That's pretty good. However, we are mostly using this as support with the trigger elemental effect and spreading it to enemies. And while this would be good for just raw damage, it's just never going to top what our sniper rifle's doing. So it's not actually as useful as it looks. Now we can give a scroll and gain a luxurious gift box. We can replace all inscriptions, or we can upgrade a level, 2 levels, which is what we're going to take. Again, the perfect 6 isn't helping a whole lot, so I'm just going to use that one. I don't think anything else here really fits the bill, because I think we're really using these other ones. So, and yes, on you. So now we have a plus 12. I really didn't think it was going to get to that much either. Depending on which boss we get here, there's actually a pretty good chance that we can win. But let's get up here to this dock, and then I'm going to drop the scroll again. There we go. Final Judgment. Drop you. Take care of that monk. Take care of that monk. Whole bunch of lanterns and crabs. The good thing about the spreading burning is, like I said, it's the only elemental effect that on its own does extra damage. So spreading it around takes care of a bunch of those small enemies really well. And it did drop something. Oh, is that the fire tower? Is that our first sword drop? Nice. Okay, we're going to move a little bit forward. I know some enemies are going to spawn here. Alright, they're on the other side of this building. Yakshas of the sea. We're going to use Energy Blade to take care of them. Alright, oh, there's our Nihilism Monk. We're going to keep backing up. This one's probably going to teleport on me in just a moment. There we go. Take care of the sharks with the Energy Blade as well. Very easy. Alright, and there is our arrogant lobster. We're just going to keep moving forward because all those shots are landing behind me. Get the snipe on that. Get another Energy Blade shot off. Alright, and the room is clear. So let's go back and get our scroll, and we'll also check out what the fire tower is. So melee weapons are particularly cool because on average they do way more damage than the counterpart ammo types. The fire tower is a special ammo, so it's the highest one. And look at that damage. Right now, my plus 12 piercing flame is 576. This plus 7 fire tower is 1400 damage. Just because it's in the final area, this has a bunch of rare affixes to it, or inscriptions. So look at that. We got trigger elemental effects spread to all enemies, bonus damage versus burning, bonus damage when shocked, and bonus damage to boss and elites, and recover ammo on miss. The fire tower is sweet. If I were to pick any of the swords that I like the most, it's this one. It has a right click that throws a fire wheel out. And it does massive damage. I mean, just look at that, 1400. Now, it doesn't synergize as well because, one, I don't want to get in melee range of most things right now just because of aforementioned dying really quickly. But that is a solid weapon, and it's a ton of fun to use. It looks like we will be able to get one more level on our sniper rifle here. Thank you. Plus 13, and that was an achievement unlocked. We do have a vault with a simple challenge on it. That's just going to be a room full of enemies. Energy orb applies the same elemental effect. I guess... man, I don't know if I can get to Act 4. I don't know if normal mode lets you, but what we'll do then is just apply the elemental type. That way maybe I shouldn't have, but that might have been the wrong choice. But my reasoning is that this has a lower chance of spreading elemental than the piercing flame. So if I pull this out and shoot you, he will definitely be shocked. Whereas before it was like a 10% chance on a submachine gun. Alright, those guys are on our side. They'll shoot each other. We got our fireball shot. Oh, he saw me. He looked at me. There we go. 2400's not bad. Again, we stayed up here. I didn't move down at all because I don't want to spawn a bunch of enemies. I'm going to move over here because I think it'll spawn enemies if I move all the way over. Nope. I have to jump down. Okay. That's fine. What we're going to do is just move slightly forward and then we'll back up because it's going to spawn some dudes all around. Alright, you probably are going to burn to death. It doesn't matter that I missed. I still get the proc on Energy Blade. We're going to take care of the guy in the back. That way he doesn't continuously spawn things. Oh, that is some chunkiness there. Alright. Get some shock. You're confused now. And we finish him off. Again, we'll just walk a little bit further in. Alright, we got some more spawns over there. I hit you guys. Hit that. Nope. Alright, you're on our side, so he can run away a little bit. It's a good way to manage enemies. If you can do confusion, then you can kind of save yourself a little bit of trouble by not only having some of the enemies kill each other, but also they won't be attacking you. So do yourself a big favor that way. And again, we're taking this really slow. We don't have to like rush down into the middle of all the enemies and dodge around like crazy. We can just hang back with one really good long-range weapon. And even though we haven't like specifically built any of our ascensions on snipers, we still do pretty good. Stone skin, sure. I mean, that's just raw defensive ability. Thank you. I guess energy blade kind of builds specifically with snipers, but I could also see you having like a tiger cannon, you know, the sword. Anything that does pretty good damage on a single shot is going to work well with it. So, despite my earlier misgivings, we are now at the Act 3 boss. And it is the boat. I was worried that it might be the serpent. This could still go horribly wrong because there's a lot to do in this fight and a lot to understand. So let's start breaking it down. First of all, there are 3 phases to this fight. The first phase is when the boat pulls up, it's going to have a bunch of cannons pointed at you. And you have to destroy each of the cannons in order to advance to the next phase. After destroying about half of them the first time, it puts up a big wall of water and stops you from attacking the ship anymore, and then enemies spawn as artillery shots drop around you. Avoid the artillery shots and kill the octopus that spawns, and there'll be a cannonball. Pick up the cannonball, put it in this cannon, and it'll destroy the wall of water that's protecting the rest of the cannonballs. And then you go back into phase 1, continue to kill the cannons, except now there's going to be jellyfish that spawn in that cause corrosion auras to appear. You don't necessarily need to kill them, but if you need to move around a bunch, you got to take care of them. Otherwise, you'll get decayed, and then you'll be kind of slowed, and it kind of snowballs out of control there. So once you've killed all the cannons on the ship, you go into the final phase, where a giant cannon appears in the middle. You need to shoot it in the eyes to do crit damage to it. While it's open, it'll shoot these really large mortars into the air. You'll want to shoot them out of the air before they hit the ground because they have a huge splash radius on them. There should be one more second phase where after bringing it down to about half health, the wall will go back up, an octopus will spawn, you kill it, pick up the cannonball, break down the wall again, and then go to finish it off. So hopefully I can do all of that without fucking up. Let's see. This is definitely the most involved boss fight. The other one that you can get is more difficult in that it's just a harder test of ability. Alright, that's one down. Alright, so there's the artillery. We already almost died. There's the octopus. It's fine. Alright, there's the cannon. You'll notice the artillery shots always go completely horizontal, so as long as you're moving forward and back reliably, you'll avoid getting hit. Alright, here's the jellyfish. Oh, we went down. Oh well. The skulls that come out of the cannonballs hit a lot lower than they look, so you might go, oh, they're shooting over your head. No, they are still going to hit you, even if you're below them. However, that was pretty incredible that we got that far off the first run. The only upgrade I had before this was getting the vaults unlocked, and we didn't have to do anything crazy. I wasn't like, I don't know, jumping around. I didn't have to use my propulsion device constantly. We just kind of played it slow, and we were able to get pretty far. Main strategy, I'd say the key points to think while you're playing through: find one gun pump it up as much as you can. That'll help you out. Get all the vaults that you can so that you can get all the scrolls that you can. If there's opportunities to fight elites, take them. I know it's a little scary, but it's definitely well worth it because you get bonus weapons, which eventually could replace the one that you're pumping if it's early on enough in the run. But mostly you unlock new scrolls, get achievements, which will get you more unlocks. And now let's go spend our talents. So over here is the money tree. The money tree is probably one of the best things to level up, just because having starting copper means that you can have higher levels on your enhancements early on. Outside of that, obviously some health and shield is going to carry you pretty far. The damage ones, this tree for weapon damage and also getting like ammo capacities and critical hits and lucky shot chance, all of that's great and all, but I wouldn't focus on this one as much. This is like the win more tree. It'd be really easy to go, oh, I'll get a lot further if I have more damage. But honestly, not so much. I would definitely suggest you get money first, then start worrying about inscriptions over here. This tree is pretty useful. If you're playing solo, you don't need to worry about this tree down here because this is all aiding, and this one over here, which is or is it this one down here? Sorry. There's another one that you don't need to worry about. Oh, this one. Okay, so you don't need to worry about these two because they're aiding, and then this one is about removing down penalty stacks. Whenever you're playing solo, there's not really a whole lot of down stacks to take, let alone to remove, so you don't have to worry about that as much. And also recovering shield and armor when you're revived. You only have one revive, so the payoff for that isn't that great. So if you're playing solo, save those upgrades for last. You don't really need them. And then whenever you are upgrading your hero, I would say focus on these pretty quick. These are basically going to make or break your character. I would honestly, for like, oh, I can't see the other ones until I unlock them. For example, the bird, he has armor, and unlike shield, armor doesn't regenerate on its own. You have to have certain abilities, and one of his abilities says when you hit an enemy with a gun, recover armor. And before you unlock that one, he is incredibly difficult to play because it's very hard to generate that armor back without specific ascensions or even specific scrolls. I know that you can't unlock things until you reach certain levels, and you get levels by putting points up here. So we're just going to put one in each of these for now. And you'll see I'm only at level 8 doing that, so you have to start stacking them. What I'll do then is I'll stack one in HP and one in armor, and now we've unlocked the next row. So again, I'm not lying. Getting the early money is super helpful for winning runs. Also, peddlers having scrolls could be helpful, but if you're just looking to win in the early game, scrolls don't matter as much as stacking up one weapon with enhancement. Remember, each level is a 15% damage increase. So if you get 3 level ups, or let's see, right now I can only do 2, right? Yeah, I can only do 2. So 2 level ups is 30%. There's not a lot of scrolls you can get that gives you a flat 30% bonus to your damage. Now, of course, granted, that enhancement's only specifically for that weapon, and if you trade off at any point, that basically means that money's wasted, other than it got you to that point. But just keep in mind that 15% per upgrade is a big deal. It's very hard to get that kind of consistent damage out of even your ascensions, let alone scrolls. So keep pumping those. Let's also get exclusive inscriptions, and also we're gonna get these two here. Want to have a starting weapon just because the foundry sucks and I would rather not use the foundry, so having any starter weapon is basically going to be better. And having exclusive inscriptions on weapons, they'll start showing up even in the first act. I wouldn't expect it, You'll definitely see them by the third act, but exclusive inscriptions are incredibly powerful, and you can build your entire run around a gun that has it. If you get a gun in the first act with an exclusive inscription, I would not be surprised if you could just turn that into your forever run gun. Let's see here. Let's just get a max shield for the prince because we're going to stick with him for a bit. Secondary use, every time you consume ammo. That could be useful on some of the other characters, but we're not going to worry about it for the prince for now. A flat secondary use is pretty nice. More ammo capacity would also save us some grief. So we got 44 right now. Let's just get those two. Let's get more ammo and more secondary uses. And there we go. That's the first run. Let's do a little bit of recap on that third area. Whenever you're dealing with a big room, you need to take care of those monks as quickly as possible because they're going to be spawning in lanterns constantly, and you'll find yourself overwhelmed very quickly if you don't take care of them first. The white sharks will pull you in, and when there's a lot of enemies, that pull will not only kill you when the shark punches you, but will also get other enemies free attacks on you. So you need to look at them too. Outside of that, the octopus can be painful. When he first starts shooting, he's not going to be very accurate, but he gets more accurate over time. So keep that in mind. If he's already been shooting for a little bit, you can hear that sound that his gun makes. If it's been going for more than a second already, just stay behind cover and don't worry about it until it stops, then pop out and shoot him. The Yaksha of the ocean, they're pretty much a pushover despite how big they are and how strong they are. You can just kite them and shoot them in the head and easily dodge their attack. The Catfish Men, whenever they shoot their arrow, it can pin you to a wall, so be very careful about that because that can end up getting you killed pretty quickly. And I guess the gunners are basically like the ones from the other acts, so you don't have to worry about them much. That final boss, we'll probably see a lot more of it as we continue on. I just kind of didn't have what was necessary to beat him at the moment. Look at all the stuff that we got on this one run. Nice. Some concealed ammo. Got our justice. Catfish Man. Killed a corrupt monk. I guess a thing to point out at this point is I had this great run, and part of it is due in fact to unlocking achievements as you go along. Not every time you kill a corrupt monk is that get 2 free scrolls thing gonna drop. Not every time you kill a rogue arsonist 3 times in a run is it gonna drop that scroll. That only happens when you unlock it. So the next run is actually going to be a little bit harder. I did get more talent skills, so some of this stuff takes place. I'm going to have some more starting money, some more ammo and stuff, but I'm also not going to be getting the scrolls that I got from previous achievements. So let's take a look in here. So I am on my way for a couple of these. Killing Corrupt Monk 100 times, kill Elite Lizard 3 times. You can see that I have a little bit of progress on several of these, so it's possible that these will drop on my next run. Heavy Crossbowman, I only killed 2 on that run, huh? Arrogant Lobsters. So I'll end up with a bunch more guns as I get kills on things. On top of that, in the logbook, we can see the same thing for scrolls. I unlocked a bunch, but this one, I need to kill some more heavy crossbowmen, desert boar. So a bunch of these I'll end up with on maybe a future run. It could be the next one, but it might be a couple out depending on how many of those enemies I run into and whatnot. But just know that it's really easy whenever you go up a difficulty to start snowballing because some of those achievements can only be unlocked on Elite, some only on Nightmare, and some only on Reincarnation. If you're particularly good, I can see how you could run from one difficulty to the other, just snowballing off achievement unlocks and getting all the scrolls and weapons from that. But don't beat yourself up too much if you don't snowball after getting a bunch of achievements. You should be able to get enough talents to make up for it. It just could be harder for my second run only because I only ended up with less than 300 soul lessons by the end of it. Whereas I got like a legendary scroll, 3 rare scrolls, and a handful of weapons that I ultimately didn't really end up taking. But we're going to end that episode here. That's going to be the Act 3 tutorial. And we'll go into our second run tutorial in the next one, where we're not going to be as slow and breaking down each enemy. We're just going to kind of rush through things. But for right now, thanks for watching. For those of you that jumped into stream, thanks for chatting with me. And have a good night. Take care of yourself and take care of those around you.